Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mila Braika. Today I'm looking at basically the word ger. Okay, how do we treat a foreigner? And it says here, do not deny justice to a foreigner. Lo tachte mishfat ger. Don't twist the justice of a foreigner. Don't twist what is happening with that foreigner. Treat him justly. Treat him right. And we've got a lot of territory to cover here because we have historical significance of being a foreigner. See it with Abraham, seeing it with people of Israel as foreigners in the land of Egypt. And I have one Solomon here about what it means for us to be a foreigner before God. And then, of course, the teachings of Jesus at the end. He had some very important things to say about what it means for us to treat, how we must treat a foreigner. And we start with Genesis 15, verse 13, and this is God speaking to Abraham, establishing one of the pacts or one of the covenants with Abraham. And he begins by saying, Vayomer, this is God speaking, Vayomer, Avram, this shortened, still abbreviated form before it was stretched to Abraham. This is Avram, this is the highest father then. Avram, Yadoach, Teda, this is the repeated root here of Dalet Ayin, to know most certainly, okay? To know most certainly. So when you repeat it this way, know for certain. So this is how we do it in English, just to give it an emphasis that the emphasis comes from the repetition of the root here. Yadoach, teda, to know, you should know, kiger, that, a stranger, yihye, you were, Zerecha, and your seed, be'aretz, in the land, lo, lachem, which is not to them, ve'avadun, and then they will be enslaved, and oppressed, yetnu, otam, to them, arba meot shana, 400 years, okay, 400 years, arba meot shana. And this is a prophecy given to Abraham of what will happen to his descendants when they get captured and brought to, or when they go to Egypt and in the end become slaves to the Egyptians. And in Genesis 23:4, and this is Abraham talking to the Hittites here. Ger toshav anochi imachem, a foreigner, and a dweller. Okay, this is the root of Yod Shin Bet, and then one who dwells, one who stays with. So it's like a resident alien, foreign resident. Okay, Ger v'toshav anochi, I am, singular, first person extended version of the pronoun here. Imaham, among you, with you. Tenu, give li, tenu li, give to me. Ahuzat, a site, a firm site, a cave. He's asking for a place that's got some strength to it. Ahuzat, kerev, for a tomb, okay, a firm place for a tomb. Imahem, among you. Ve'ech kevra meti milefenecha. So, and then I will bury my dead person in front of me, me lifanai, be front of me. Okay, I want someplace to bury this person has died, and this is a reference to the wife of Abraham who had died, and then he wanted a place to bury Sarai, um, or Sarah, her name by then. And now we're getting on to the Exodus, and this is Sifra, the wife of Moses here. Sifra came from the desert peoples, so Veteled Ben, and then she gave birth to a son, Vayikra et Shemo, and then he called his name Gershom. Okay, Gershom. This is Ger, it's a foreigner, and then very much a foreigner. Okay, Gershom, a foreigner there, or powerful foreigner. So Gershom. Ki Amar Ger Hayiti, because he said, a foreigner, I am. Okay, Hayiti, first person suffix form of Haya here. Ba'aretz, in the land. Kept a nice sigillate going here. Ba'aretz. Nach Ria. This is then of stranger, foreign again. That's another version of ger, but it's different, entirely different name. This is what Ruth calls herself when she's talking to Boaz, nikra. So it's also well known other alternative name to ger here. So nikra, nikriya. So nokriya. And this is a closed syllable, so we're going to have this as a common satuv here. Nokriya, as a foreign land, a land of foreigners. And Exodus 12, Torah, so of course Torah, very much well-known, well-named name, law. Ahat, singular, one, okay, one single law. Yihye will be le zera, to the one who's strong in the land, the one who's a habitant, one who's also native there, who's belongs there, azara. Leger, and to the stranger, to the one who's not there permanently, okay, leger, Hagar, and then he is staying with you. So this is the noun here, to the stranger who is being strange there. Okay, who's being living there for now. Okay, betochem, in among you. Okay, in among you, in the middle of you. Okay, so this is all actually a stack of prepositions along with suffix pronoun here. Veger lo tona tone velo til hatsinu, and then so you must stranger, you must not exploit, and you must not oppress him. Okay, tilatsu. These are very much parallel things here. Don't oppress the stranger, and don't exploit the stranger, and don't oppress him. Very much parallel sentiments here. These two verbs here. Ki, garim, garim, hayitem, because foreigners, you were, okay, this is a suffix form of haya in second person plural, suffix form hayitem, be'eretz, in the land, Mishraim, the land of Egypt here, Mishraim. Mishraim is a dual, upper or lower Egypt, or left or right banks of the Egypt, either way. But it's a dual here, Mishraim, well known. So even to this day, it's still called that in Hebrew. Gerlo tilhatz, and you must not, foreigner, you must not oppress. Okay, we've seen this verb before here. Tilhatz, tem, yadatem, and then you yourselves, you know, et nefesh, the soul, hager, of a foreigner. And then the translation here is that you know how it feels, you know what the soul is of a foreigner. Okay, et nefesh hager ki garim hayetem, because foreigners you were. Okay, this is then the actually very same endings here. If you notice here, talmem with a sigol here, and you know, and you were. Okay, hayetem. Be'eretz, in the land of Mishraim, again, the land of Egypt. Lo tate mishvat ger otam, so do not twist, do not deny. Mishvat, the justice, justice ger, of the foreigner. Hotam, of the orphan, fatherless child. Velo tichabel, habol, and don't take as security beged, robe, garment, beged, clothing, almanah, of the widow of the woman who, if she's by herself, she's a widow. Okay, so almanah, but this is simply a woman. So yeah, almanah, widow. Arur mate, okay, mishvat, okay. Cursed is he who perverts or twists. Okay, mate, okay, takes the circle and twists it around, or takes the mark and turns it around. So arur mate, mishvat, the justice. Ger hotam, so this is of the foreigner, this is of the orphan, this is of the widow. So all three in a row here. Be careful you see it, matech, you might think it's construct connection here. It isn't. They're really just separate nouns here. Ger, hotam, almunah. V'amar kol ham, and then they said, all the people said, Amen, and then all the people said, Amen. That's the list over there in Deuteronomy. Psalm 39, verse 12, Shema, Tifalti, Yehovah, Ve'shamati, Ha'oznai. And so listen to my prayers, Jehovah, and my pleas, my cry, give ear to. Okay, so Ha'ozna, this is a verbal form of oz, which is the ear, give ear to. El damati, to my tears. Okay, al tiresh, don't be silent to those tears. Ki ger, because a foreigner. Anohi, I was or I am. Imahem, with you. Okay, I'm a foreigner to you, to Jehovah. And very, very interesting sentiment on the part of the psalmist here, that before Jehovah, all of us are ger, all of us are foreigners before the Lord. So we're strangers in this land. Sometimes we have a lot of hymns saying, "Oh yeah, we're just strangers in this passing through." In a sense, very, very true. Don't have to cover that all the time, but there's some truth to that statement. Toshav, Bekol Avotav, and I have a resident, just as all of my fathers were. In Matthew 25, then Jesus is talking about what's happening at the time of at the last time on the last day of judgment, when the Son of Man comes to his glory in his glory and all the angels with him. He will sit on the throne of his glory, and all the nations will be gathered before him. He will separate them one from another, just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. And then he gives the rationale. Why? For I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger. I was a ger. I was Abraham. I was somebody who was on the outside. Okay, I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked. You clothed me. I was sick. You took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. So all these people begin questioning all this business, and then the righteous will answer him. And the righteous, by the way, is, you look at the group of Pharisees and so forth, will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry, feed you, or thirsty, give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger, a ger, okay, and take you in, or without clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison, visit you? And the king will answer them, I assure you, whatever you did to one of the least of these brothers of mine. So Jesus identifies himself with all of these categories that's in the list here. You did that for me. Then he will also say to those on the left, the ones who didn't do any of this, Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. So if you are involved in this kind of thing, good thing, you're a servant of Christ. If you just don't want to do this sort of thing, watch out. You're maybe standing in this side of the equation, of this side of the groupings. Most certainly two groupings in front of the Lord who brings justice. On one side, those who've been faithful and following Christ and doing his will, there's a good reward for those. Those who refuse to do that, there it is, eternal fire for the devil and his angels, and you will be joining up with that if you've been unfaithful to Christ. So may God bless and God give you strength in this day until the next time.